Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV here at 12th Cloud Expo, New York, with Jonathan King, Director of Cloud Strategy at Savvis. I love talking to directors of cloud strategy, Jonathan.
Well, fortunately you're talking to a VP, so hopefully you like talking to them as well. But it's a pleasure to be here with you.
But the whole notion of being, a cloud strategist, who would have thunk that 5 years ago?
Well, I think the thing with cloud is that a lot of it is about designing and operating for the future. So being mindful of where your providers are going and what their strategy is part of the decision criteria of partners that you pick.
This just underlines to people watching that really all the providers are providing what people want. That's how they're gauging what to offer.
So I think there's a science there where you're providing what people want, but anticipating what they're going to need as well. Because sometimes there's inflection curves where what people want is one thing and what they need is another. And there's a great book that talks in part about this called Consumption Economics, which has made the rounds. And what it talks about is how there's been a proliferation of all these features. If you look at as a consumer or user, the amount of features you have in Microsoft Word, for example, and you take that, or any IT product for that matter, there's a lot of features there that a product owner thought people wanted, but in fact they're not using. And in a cloud world where you're dealing with usage, increasingly what you want to focus on is what are the features that people are going to use and that they're going to pay you for, but also that they're going to use and get value out of. And how do you make that smaller feature set of things that people are going to use more valuable, better, faster, cheaper? And that's the new value calculus that we're focused on.
I like that, value calculus. Let's think about Savvis itself. Lots of name visibility, so easy to find you guys, but what would be the main distinguishing points that you are finding time and time again are winning you customers?
So I think Savvis has for a long time and continues to occupy a unique position in the market. We have this portfolio, I've called it the stairway to cloud, where companies that have data centers, that have networks, that have security around those networks and data centers, we have a complete portfolio of offerings that can allow them to extend on a stairway, so to speak, to cloud. So whether it be co-location, whether it be managed hosting, whether it be cloud either in a dedicated modality or a multi-tenant modality, whether it be cloud storage, whether it be infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, whether it be managed network services, security services, we have that portfolio, and there's really few others that do. There's many pure cloud players out there that have very compelling public cloud capabilities, and we've been busy investing and building those capabilities, but we've also been busy investing and building in our co-location facilities, right? So we believe that Savvis as a provider is unique in our portfolio breadth and depth, and that's where we add value to our customers.
So from that same perspective, presumably you've never specialized in a particular vertical. It's a horizontal play. You really can do almost everything for anyone.
Yeah, I mean that's the having grown up that way. We've continued, and now as part of the CenturyLink family, we bring CenturyLink's assets and network base and their global network to bear. So we're continuing to make, and you'll see additionally making these investments. And it's also not just about us. We are partnering with technology companies like VMware and Cisco and Intel and SAP. We're partnering with ecosystem partners, some that you've heard of and some you've never heard of, right? So we're busy partnering as well and building out an ecosystem that extends this portfolio. And our attitude is that we're happy to do as much or as little as a customer wants us to do. And that's true for a partner, right? If we are partnering with someone and they have a service or offering that they want to bundle our cloud with, or they want us to do one thing and not another, that's part of this go-to-market as well.
You're, as befits a VP of strategy, a thoughtful man. Do you find, when you go home to your kids or whatever, the excitement still from the fact that this is undergirding this innovation ecosystem? We're talking of the technological side, but do you feel that you really are contributing to a surge of innovation and value, of course?
Well, I think yes, absolutely. I think we're at a very compelling intersection of humanity. If you look at what's happened just in the past the past 5 years. You look at the launch right before then, the launch of the iPhone, then shortly after then was the iPad has been out for 4 years roughly, barely. So you've had this complete sea change where my kids and all of our kids, I don't know if you have kids.
I have a lot
All
of
right.
kids.
So I mean, think about how many times your kids touch a multi-touch surface through the course of the day. Right? So and then add that up. So just say like how many times, like how many neocortexes are hitting a glass surface on a daily basis, and how fundamental of a change that is to our society, to the wiring of our children, to the laws that we have. I mean, there's discussions going on right now about privacy and other things, in this country and in others that have already been going on. All of this stuff is really amazing. I mean, and that's just, people focus so much on cloud, but then you look at big data, you look at mobile, you look at all the software languages that are being developed to enable all of this, look at Spectrum, you look at all these amazing capabilities. It's really astonishing. I'm very excited to be involved with it.
Well, I can help you with that, but we'll take that offline.
Yeah,
Jonathan King, VP of Strategy for Savvis, thanks you so much for talking with us. Send people to savvis.net?
Savvis.com.
Savvis.com, even better. What's not to like? Thanks so much, Jonathan, for joining us here in New York City, and thank you for following along out there on the World Wide Web.